Mr. Mayor, on the 9th of April, Karen Buck retweeted figures from the Resolution Foundation, which revealed that 16% of the families living in lockdown were in overcrowded conditions. In doing so, she said, try living through this on the 16th floor with 3 kids in 1 bedroom, or with twins with autism but no garden, or with a mum and dad sleeping on the living room floor, so a severely disabled child can have a bedroom. This week, Dr. Onka Sahota sent you a letter from the Health Committee, which outlined their review of your health strategy, which included a recommendation that you should examine your policies on family-sized homes, particularly in the light of COVID-19, to ensure that they match up with the objectives of your health policies. The number of family-sized homes being built is declining. Your housing strategy removed any targets for family-sized homes.
You can hear it.
And your London plan encourages the building of those smaller properties that 360,000 young people have been enduring during this lockdown. Isn't it time for you, Mr. Mayor, to reintroduce investment targets for family-sized homes?
Well, firstly, let's be clear. The previous London plan and the previous housing strategy did not have a target for family-sized homes. My London plan, for the first time, requires councils to set a mix for the requirement for social housing based on local needs. That's because I recognise we need to have decent-sized housing that is affordable, and that's why it should be those on social need. If it was the case, we were to have large numbers of market value of family homes being built in London. A large number of those would not be affordable by the family you referred to in Karen Buck MP's tweet. The sort of home that family needs is a decent-sized home that is available on social rent, and that's why I'm requiring council for the first time to undertake a exercise to work out what their local needs are, based on things like their housing needs and how many families they have. And that's the way, in addition to our other policies, to meet the needs of those families who desperately need decent-sized homes.
Mr. Mayor, we've recently seen figures produced that indicate that most of the overcrowding in housing in London is in socially rented homes over which you have some influence. I'd like to refer you, incidentally, I don't particularly want to go through he said, this, you said stuff, but page 29 of the previous housing strategy had a very clear commitment to 36% discounted rented homes to be 3 bedrooms or larger. I don't want to go over the last...
Should I was
ask a question, please?
That was an aspiration. That was an aspiration. That was an aspiration.
Yeah, perhaps you would refer to me to the aspiration in your housing strategy and your London plan to tackling this crisis. Now, the fact is, Mr. Mayor, that you're going to be doing nothing for those very people that Karen Buck is trying to represent, those people that came into her surgery. You're doing nothing for them because your London plan encourages the building of 1-bedroom homes. And there's no money that goes with the London plan, and it means the boroughs will continue to build those traps and those jails for overcrowded families. Mr. Mayor, you need to revisit this. I'm looking for an undertaking, as is Dr. Sahota, for you to review your overcrowding policies.
Chair, it's very difficult virtually with a 5-minute question and not be given a chance to respond. And if I could respond to the various points raised by some members.
Your chance is now, Mr. Mayor.
Quite. So firstly, this is the first London plan that requires councils to carry out an assessment of what their local needs are, so developers, housing associations and others can make sure there are decent numbers of family-sized homes made that are available to those on housing waiting lists. The reason why it's those who are in council accommodation who suffer the most overcrowding is because of the failure of the governments, successive governments, to successively replenish the stock of those homes sold under right to buy. I'd remind the Assembly member For every 5 homes sold under Vote to Buy, only 1 have been replaced. But the problem is his government's, because the funding they've given us is disproportionately skewed towards intermediate housing, which is 1 and 2 bedroom. If he could use his influence over his government to persuade them to give us funding that helps us fund family-sized social homes, we'd be able to do so. But here's the good news. Notwithstanding that, over the last 3 years, we have broken record after record of the amount of genuinely affordable homes begun in our city, which are helping those families. The most recent figures published shows last year we began more than 17,000 genuinely affordable homes. Of those, more than 7,000 were social rent, more than 3,000 council homes. Just one example of the difference a Labour mayor is making. But we could do far, far more with a decent deal from the government. And that's why I said in my opening, we're now working on the next deal with the government. If he has any influence over the government, he should use it to say to the government, use this awful crisis and the potential recession as an opportunity to properly fund council homes. The cross-subsidy model is not working. We need decent-sized family homes for those on the council housing waiting list.
Mr. Mayor, the 360,000 children living in overcrowded conditions were looking for a mayor who was going to be with them. What they've got is a missing mayor.